I strongly believe that we need to build Europe on the basis of nation states. I don't believe in the contradiction between European integration on the one hand and the nation states on the other hand. Secondly, I don't see, I know that we run these risks, and David spoke about this, of taking protectionist measures, etc., but until now, even in this crisis, the internal market is pretty strong, and we haven't really seen attacks on the internal market. We've seen, for instance, plans by the French president on the automotive industry, but he immediately changed them when he saw that this was going to affect his economy when they would be in contradiction with the rules of the internal market. So I'm not all that pessimistic about the strength of the internal market. It is too strong. It will get some blows, I'm sure, but it is too strong to really be seriously affected by this crisis. It will help us overcome the crisis. I'm convinced of that. But we cannot build Europe at the expense of the nation state, because that is where people's attention is addressed to when they address political subjects and when they want things to be solved. And don't forget that the tools in our toolbox to address the economic crisis, to a large extent, are national tools. And this is a reality of today. So when we act as nations, our responsibility towards our citizens is to act conjointly with other nations, starting in Europe, not to do something that will hurt our neighbour. Do something jointly, but we don't need the Commission to be the sole instrument for that. Those meetings we've had at the highest level of leaders of Europe talking together and agreeing on the general outlines of the policy, that's what we need to do today. In the long run, we will have to change the toolbox and create more international tools. Changing the nature of the IMF is our utmost priority, and we fully share the view of the British government on this. But the world as it is today simply is the fact that we have national tools that we need to use in the same way internationally. And that is our biggest duty right now as politicians on a national level.